Everyone, thank you for jumping on board for another episode of MySmartPodcast today. I'm blessed to have a very good friend of mine, Noel Casimiro, on the show with Enlyten Energy to talk about, a lot of business aspects, I'm sure, but the solar business. Noel, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
And tell me, what got you? I've known you for a while. You've been in several different businesses. You've got a lot of expertise in a lot of different industries. What had you? What about the solar business grabbed you?
I just ran into a lot of friends. I used to be in the real estate industry here in Las Vegas, real estate and mortgage. And I started running into a lot of friends and family. And I'd ask them, hey, are you still doing real estate? Are you still doing mortgages? What are you doing these days? And some of the guys I'd be running into, I'm doing solar. I'm doing solar. Oh, I'm doing solar now. I'm like, why you guys move to solar? Oh, Noel, it's so much easier. Process is easier. The financing approval is a lot easier. The whole process is easier. Huge demand. Only 5 to 7% of homes across the United States has solar. So there's a huge market for it. It's great timing right now. The federal government's giving a 30% tax incentive. So when someone buys a solar system for their home, the federal government's going to give them 30% back towards their income tax. It's just a perfect timing. And they just said that it's good money. They're making $10,000, $20,000 plus a month. They said the average solar sales guy is making $10,000 a month. I'm like, wow, I got to look into this. So I started researching it, and everything I researched that they told me, I thought some of these guys were like, just hyping what they're doing, what they're making in the industry, and it was what it was. It is what it is, and I got to get involved with this. So when I get involved with something as far as a project or a business, I always ask myself 4 questions. Is a product or service that I'm offering or selling helping people? Is it a credible product or service or industry? Is the market going to be around? Is it going to be a trend, or is it going to be around for a long time? Is there good money to be made? And the last thing I ask, can I do this? Can I do this? If I ask all those 5 questions, I'm like, I'm in. And when I say I'm in, I'm not, let's cross my fingers, hope this thing works. No, I'm going to figure this thing out, and I'm going to do this business because I did all the research. And so that's basically why I got in. It's an awesome opportunity. One more thing. The downside to solar is it's unregulated. It's an unregulated industry. There's a lot of shady things happening in this industry, and I wanted to bring integrity to this industry.
Right. Yeah, I was just going to ask you, what do you see as your biggest challenge in the industry? Now, what do you see, something a little more specific, what do you see as your biggest challenge as your role in your day-to-day, whether it's in the operations of the company, in the sales process, in time management? What's your biggest challenge, and how are you dealing with it?
Our biggest challenge, I would say, would be providing consistent, exceptional customer service. So there's 3 parts of the solar industry. You have the sales organization, then you have the installation company, which could be the same company or a separate third party. And third, you have the financing company. So when you don't control the other aspects of the solar process, you lose control of the customer service. So right now, my company, we are establishing our own installation company. We've been sourcing out to third-party installation companies or electrical companies, which is a bad thing because you can't control it. And that's exactly what happened. We've had issues with the company that we're using. I'm not going to mention any names, but we had issues with the customer service that they were providing. They would pull up in their Penske trucks, not even a branded truck, and they're going out there and just blasting music while they're doing the install and leaving stuff all over the place and leaving equipment, just all kinds of things that we can't control. Not following
poor quality.
Not answering the phone when people are calling the company to find out, get any updates. So our biggest challenge is making sure that we provide exceptional customer service. And I'm just going to be transparent. We haven't been able to do that in the past because we didn't control the back end of the processes where most of the issues and problems happen with solar. That's why we are doing that now. And we're glad that we're partnering up with an electric company. And we are going to have our own installation company finally. So that's one of our biggest problems. And so for me, I'm a brand builder. As you know, I've built other companies that are very well known. And I did that because my business model for any business that I get involved with is don't focus on the money. Don't focus on how much money you can make. Don't focus on the commissions. Focus on how many people you can help and be sincere about that. When you focus on how many people you can help, the money is a byproduct. Okay, that's huge when it comes to building a brand. So for us, it's providing, the best pricing, exceptional, the best and competitive pricing, and you got to follow it up with amazing customer service, right? Our goal is not to create a satisfied customer, not even a loyal customer. Our goal is to create a raving fan. What does that mean? A raving fan is like the third level of customer service, which we're trying to strive for, which any business should be striving for. And a raving fan is not just a satisfied customer, not just a loyal customer. The customer is so ecstatic about the services and the product that they will go out there and market for you. If someone says, hey, I'm getting solar, like, what? You're getting solar? Oh my gosh, you got to go check out Enlyten Energy. These guys are amazing. I shopped them around. I shopped 3 different companies. These guys had the best pricing, and they followed up with amazing customer service. They kept on calling me and giving me updates, and that's what we're always striving for. We want to focus on the experience of the customer, not how much commissions we can make on each deal. That's how we train all of our sales reps as well.
Right. Now, let me have you jump over a little bit and talk about the actual operations of a business and the trials, the challenges, the pitfalls, the successes. What is the most common mistake you see new entrepreneurs making, regardless of their industry?
They don't have a clear vision or clear goal of where they want to be in a year, 3 years, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And to add on to that, they don't have traction. Even the guys that do have a goal or a vision of where the company wants to be, they don't have anything tracking it. Okay, there's an amazing book I'd like to recommend. It's by Gino Wickman. It's called Traction. And this book will give you step by step how to not only set goals, but how to measure. Are you, going towards your goal? Are you moving away? Are you falling short of it? Are you going left or right of your goal? There's a great book out there. Again, another book I like to recommend, Jim Collins, Good to Great and Built to Last. This guy did some studies on some of the most successful companies out there that have endured time. Basically, a lot of them are Fortune 500 companies now. The crazy thing is all these Fortune 500 companies that are worth millions and billions, they all started as small mom and pop shops. How did they start from a small mom and pop shop and become one of the greatest companies and largest companies in the world? And that book talks about it. So, but the book doesn't talk about how they did it in as far as details and step by step how to measure. And that's why that book is so amazing. As far as that book Traction, it helps an entrepreneur track. Last thing I want to mention is for starting entrepreneurs, you have to, in fact, I think this is number one. I kind of jumped the gun. Number one is having the right mindset. So a lot of people, they're working, they're used to being an employee, getting paid every 2 weeks. They have the employee mentality, but they don't have the entrepreneur mindset. So there's a book called, another book I want to recommend, the E-Myth. E-Myth is the Entrepreneur Myth by E. Gerber. A great book. And basically what that book entails, it talks about how there's a lot of myths in becoming an entrepreneur. People say, oh, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to work less hours and make more money, right? No. That's not what's going to happen. You're going to bust your butt. Now, you're not going to be working 8 hours. You're going to be working 10, 12, 14, 16 hours a day to get your company going, to get your company started. And you're going to be making a huge sacrifice. Okay, so according to the Small Business Administration, the rate of return on initial investment to start a business is about 2 to 3 years, meaning if you put in $100,000, you're not going to even see that. You're not going to get that back. For 2 to 3 years, you're going to be in the red. Okay, but entrepreneurs understand that. They understand delayed gratification. Okay, so and then out of that, like I think it's like 1 out of every 4 businesses fail out of its first 2 years, according to the Small Business Administration. There's a lot of it's a challenge starting your business. So you have to have the entrepreneur mindset. You have to do a lot of research before you jump into something, right? Do research on the industry. Do research on your competitors. There's a lot. We live in the information age. We live in the information age, and information on how to start a business and do it the right way is at our fingertips. Just Google research before you jump into it. Talk to people who, that's what I did. I called solar companies, not only here in Las Vegas, but all over the country. I called solar companies. Hey, are you the owner? Tell me about the industry. Why'd you get into it? The reason why I called solar companies from other states outside of Las Vegas, outside of other cities, is because if you're local and you're trying to get advice from your competitors, they may not give it to you. But if you say, hey, my name is Noel Casimiro, I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. Just got into solar. I want to pick your brain. I see I did some research. You're one of the top solar companies out there in Texas, and I want to ask you a few questions. You'd be surprised that they'd be more than willing to actually give you some advice, especially they know that you're from a different market. But do your research and then understand that you have to have the right mindset that you're going to be busting your butt. But understand it's a temporary sacrifice to get the business going. It's a temporary sacrifice. I love going to entrepreneur conventions, and I love hearing stories of companies that are making millions of dollars now, but the owners, when they first started, they're like living on ramen noodles, not ramen noodles at the restaurant, but ramen noodles in the small package. There's Ichiban top ramen noodles that you buy. They live
$1 a package.
Yeah, on the package. That's what they use. A lot of college kids eat that stuff, but they lived on that for a year. I love hearing stories that when their parents are gone during the daytime, these kids would sneak in their parents' house and eat food because they were making sacrifices for their business to survive. They weren't making anything, but they could be working, for someone else making $50,000, $60,000. But these entrepreneurs are willing to be broke for a little bit, make a temporary sacrifice to start their business. And that's what you got to be willing to do. Is you got to be willing to make sacrifices starting this business. But you have to understand it's a temporary sacrifice for the bigger picture, bigger vision. Yeah, I can make $50,000 working for somebody, but if I start this business now and I make $10,000, right, a year, or I make $1,000, $2,000 a month versus making a lot more working, I could make a six-figure income. I can make way more than $50,000 if I get this business going. So, sorry, blabbing, but yeah, that would be my advice for new entrepreneurs is, do some intel, do some research, but you got to get your mindset right. You have to understand you're not going to be getting an income. A lot of people who are employee mindset, they see the rewards that they're sowing. They're reaping what they're sowing every 2 weeks. They're getting paid every 2 weeks. When you start your own business, you're busting your butt month after month after month, and you're not seeing a return that you want to see. So instant delayed gratification. It's like every entrepreneur knows this. Even like here, I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, and these huge strip resorts. Steve Wynn, it takes him 4 or 5 years to build these casinos, but he's putting millions into this, and for 4 years he's getting nothing. But he understands delayed gratification. After 4 years, after construction, when they open up, guess what? The money's going to be flowing in like crazy. So, anything else, Jeff?
Well, no, you mentioned vision. That was going to be kind of my next just statement about how important that vision is. I think my last question for you is, Noel, put yourself in front of a 20-year-old Noel Casimiro, and what's your advice to him?
My advice. Okay, here you go. I didn't understand when I read this book by Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar is another great author for entrepreneurs, for sales. And he said, if you're helping other people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. And I didn't understand that concept. If you sincerely basically help people, focus on helping them, that made a huge difference with me when I was in the real estate and mortgage industry, when I got into network marketing with a company called Beachbody. Everything turned around when I applied that concept. And that's what, as I told you, the business model I use now. Don't focus on how much money you can make. Don't focus on the profits, the revenues. Of course, it's important, but if you focus on providing the best customer service, the best product, right? Whatever business you're in, if you focus on just helping people and be sincere, the key is sincerity, okay? Be sincere about that. You truly care about helping other people.
Yeah.
The money is a byproduct. So another company I own out here is a company called the Great American Foodie Fest. It's a big food festival. It's one of the largest food festivals in the West Coast. And we get about 30 to 40,000 people. Out of our first year, after our first year in business, 7 years in a row, we won the Best of Las Vegas by the Review Journal, a local newspaper, largest newspaper in Las Vegas. We won Best of Las Vegas 7 years in a row. After just being in business one year, after one event, how do you win 7 years in a row? Other accolades, we won. Other accolades that we won: top 10 food festivals in the nation by Telegraph Travel. We've been featured on the Food Network, Cooking Channel. We've won a bunch of other accolades, right? How do we do that? Like our first year, in 7 years, I'll just win all these awards. Because me and my business partners, we said we're going to focus on the experience of our customers, our vendors, our sponsors, anyone that's involved with this event. We're going to focus on their experience. Every event we debrief, every event, okay? We're not satisfied with the last event. We're always thinking, okay, let's debrief the last event. What can we do? What mistakes did we make? What can we do to make it better? Okay? I'm not going to put any or throw any of the other events under the bus, but other events out there, they're always, what can we do to make more money? What can we do to cut costs, raise ticket prices, all kinds of different things. We went the opposite direction. What we did is, when someone buys a ticket to the Foodie Fest, what we think is, what can we do to add more value to this ticket? When someone buys this ticket to our festival, what can we do to add more value to this ticket? That's what got us to be the top festival here, one of the largest food festivals and most successful food festivals on the West Coast. Is, again, we didn't focus on how much money we could make. We focused on the experience of our customers, our vendors and our sponsors, even our volunteers, right? The money is a byproduct. And so I would apply that to every single one of my businesses. If you can just focus, when you start your business, just focus on the customer, focus on them, make it an amazing experience, whatever you're offering, or whatever it's a product or a service that you're offering. And the money will be a byproduct. The money will be coming. You will be successful.
You're talking about sustainability. That's a direction to sustainability, and thinking the long-term mindset. Well, Joel, I know you're Noel. I know you are a very busy guy here. I'm going to flash some contact information across the bottom of the screen here, so everyone can get a hold of you. We've got your email address and phone number there. So, what is the next event you've got going?
So the Great American Foodie Fest is going to be September 29th to October 1st. So thank you guys.
Coming up.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate this. Thanks, Jeff.
You got it. Have a terrific time. Have a terrific day. I really appreciate you coming on, and I look forward to speaking to you again real soon.
Yeah. So again, guys, if you I got to throw some shout outs. If you guys looking for solar, we're the company to go with. Enlyten Energy, the most trusted solar company in Nevada. Thank you.
Right on. All right, sir. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Thanks, Noel. Bye-bye.
Thanks for the opportunity. Goodbye.